Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be much different from anything I have ever filmed. So I was basically looking last night, I was like, what should I film? I want to film something talking, something chatty, a story time. I'm getting a lot of requests for like Q&A, story time, assumptions, stuff like that. I thought of this video. Rating the celebrities that I have met. And I'll rate them 10 out of 10, 1 through 10. I've met a lot of celebrities in my time on YouTube. I've had a lot of really amazing opportunities and we're gonna be talking about them. And I've had, honestly, some experiences. I'm not kidding, like I'm not clickbaiting right now. Like I have really had some moments with celebrities and I'm gonna tell the tea. I'm just gonna tell my experience. Yeah, and that's what today's video is gonna be about. So if you're excited to hear about, anyways, if you're excited to hear about all of my celebrity experiences, I'm not talking YouTubers. Some people consider YouTubers a celebrity and that's totally fine because I think a lot of YouTubers are just as successful as celebrities. But in this case, I am talking about traditional talent, not digital talent. So I have Kerry Washington, Sarah Jessica Parker, Ariana Grande, Kim Kardashian, Katy Perry, for instance, some names like that. I think all the celebrities I'm talking about today, they're all A-list celebrities, they're all huge. Excuse me. With that being said, enough rambling. Be sure and hit the subscribe button if you would like to join my fam jam and give this video a thumbs up if you found it interesting. But besides that, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into today's video. For me, I have a list, by the way. I wrote down like right here all of the celebrities because I'll forget. Okay, let's just begin with like the creme de la creme, Kim Kardashian. I've met her a couple times. First time she invited us to her home and where she launched her first makeup brand. I thought that was very smart of her. There were a lot of beauty gurus there and her mom was there, Chris, which I also met. Super sweet. Really happy to be there, really happy to talk to everyone and get to know everyone. And then Kim was there and what I thought was cool is that I figured it'd be like security guards all around her and you wouldn't be able to get near her, touch her, talk to her, but it wasn't like that at all. She was literally just walking around her house like chilling and she knew all of our names. She's so smart in the way that she did her research, which a lot of people don't. She did her research before inviting us, meaning she knew who each of us were and who she was inviting. So she was able to walk up and be like, hi Laura, I'm Kim. And I was like, ma'am, you know my name. I thought that was really cool and I think she has a great team around her and I think she's a very smart person and she's very sweet and you could take as many selfies with her. She's not the type to be like, oh, it has to be with a professional camera or you can't use your phone. She like literally doesn't care. And then another time I had met her was at Mario's dinner whenever they did their first collab. They invited a few of us to an intimate dinner setting and I went to that. Just as sweet as ever. And another cool thing that happened at that dinner, a couple of us girls were gathered around her. I remember sitting really close to her too. It was like 2 tables and me and Manny sat almost across from her, maybe a little adjacent. I remember her telling us she was coming out with but she was telling us about Skims before Skims came out. And she was asking our advice and like undergarments, like what we like, what we don't like. Shapewear, that's the word I'm thinking of. She was asking us, she like literally told us she was coming out with one. Yeah, she was asking us what we like and what we don't like about it. And I told her I don't like when shapewear has that big thick seam right down the middle of it. So when you're wearing a tight dress, you see this thick seam going down the middle of your stomach, because a lot of shapewear has that. By the way, I love her Skims. I've ordered so much of it. It's really good stuff. I'm a big fan of her. She is a really soft-spoken, really nice person. And again, at that event, you could take like as many pictures with her as you want. We're in a private room, so like there was no one, I guess, of danger in the room. So there was like no security guard following her around. She was just hanging out like she was one of us. So I've had 2 really great experiences with Kim and yeah, she's wonderful. I give her like 50 out of 10. I'm just kidding. We're gonna do 10 out of 10. I give her 10 out of 10 for sure. Okay, now we're gonna move into a couple more harder conversations. Sarah Jessica Parker. You guys are probably like, what, you met her? I'm like, I know, shocking. So I did this sponsorship with Ulta. Ulta was doing like star-studded September and they were having like A-list huge celebrities come into Ulta. A couple press people would interview them and then they hired me to interview them. Which I'm not gonna lie, when the opportunity was presented to me. I was a little nervous because I'm not an interviewer, I'm a YouTuber. Like I don't do press for other people. I don't go to red carpets and interview them. So I'm inexperienced is how I felt. I am pretty good having conversations with people, and the questions were not deep at all. They were like, if you had to leave your house with, you know, 5 products, which would they be? Or name 2 of them or something. They were like super airy, easy questions. I was like, okay, I'll do it. I hadn't really like interviewed a celebrity in my life, and I had never really dealt with A-listers who had been famous for years. So it is a different experience. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Ulta wanted me to do like Sarah Jessica Parker's live, and I was like, great, like on a Facebook live. I was like, dang. Now I'm really nervous because I'm just like, I'm definitely gonna bomb this whole thing for sure, especially because it's live. They're gonna see how nervous I am, but great. So she comes in a little late, totally fine. And I heard her talking, saying she came off another talk show. If I'm not mistaken, I think she just got off Ellen, and her car drove her over to Ulta to do all more press, and we were doing press on her fragrance, the SJP fragrance. So she was probably already exhausted. I'm speaking for her, I don't know. I'm trying to figure things out. But I was like, dang, I can't remember. I really feel like it was Ellen, but I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. But she just came off a big talk show. For me to interview her, great, but there were other people in line interviewing her, but I was first. They had this little tiny room where it was just me, her, and Ty in it, because he was supposed to hold the phone for the live sesh. I was so nervous because I'm like, oh my God. So I was sitting in the clear chair, and when she walked in, I stood up, and she was super nice. I was like, hi, I'm Laura, I'm interviewing you. I always told them I was a YouTuber because I didn't want them to be under the impression that I'm like some reporter trying to find dirt out on them. I'm like, listen, I'm a YouTuber, and I have a couple of questions to ask you on behalf of Ulta, like very that. So I say hello. They had 2 acrylic chairs sitting there for us to sit together and interview. And I sit down in the chair, and she looked at me and goes, oh, I'm standing. And I was like, I don't know, I just thought it was weird. I could tell, I'm telling you guys, I could tell she did not want to be in there with me. It made me feel like I wanted to disappear and get out of there. But when I asked her the questions, she was really nice, and really answered them. Again, these are really easy questions, and she even elaborated with her answers, and it was cool. I could tell she didn't want to be there. I understand why. I wouldn't want to be talking to me if I just came off some big talk show. She was probably exhausted, and I felt really awkward, and I just feel like I shouldn't be there. I remember I mispronounce words all the time. I just do. I stumble over my words sometimes. You guys have known this for years on YouTube, and I stumbled over one of my words, and she stopped and corrected me real quick. I don't think that she's mean. I don't think she's a bad person. I think I shouldn't have been interviewing her. That's what I think. I think it was really on me that she just came off a huge talk show, and she really had no business being interviewed by a YouTuber. I think that's what that was at the end of the day. So I am blaming myself on that one, but it wasn't the best experience, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna give Sarah a 7 out of 10, but I do love her, and I have supported all of her TV shows, including her newest one, Divorce. I've watched every episode. I think she's great. I mean, I'm a huge Sex and the City fan, but I'm not gonna lie, when I left that, I was kind of wanted to cry. Okay, let's move on. Again with star-studded September with Ulta, Kerry Washington. I'm a huge Scandal fan, and in general, I'm a huge Kerry Washington fan. I'm obsessed with her. But I go in there, the nicest woman on earth. That's all I can say. She was there for her OPI nail polish collection. I think she was 8 months pregnant. They had her sitting in a chair, and I walked up to the table to talk to her because I had to ask her some questions. And she was like, come around the table, let's take pictures. Just so nice. She restored my confidence in life, and I continued on to be the biggest Kerry Washington fan ever. She made me feel good, made me feel like I needed to be there. She made me, cats are fighting. I don't know, she just made me feel like a human. Fighting, boo-boo, stop fighting with, look how cute he is. Stop it. 10 out of 10 for sure for Kerry Washington, no doubt. I will say I didn't get to talk to her for long, but super nice, above and beyond nice. I don't know if she was turning it on, but girl knows how to do her job. She was like, I'm here, I'm happy, I'm in a good mood. Let's take pictures with everyone. So kind to everyone around her. I just felt like I was talking to a friend. So love her. Next on my list, ooh, Ariana Grande. You guys are not gonna wanna hear this. So I know there's probably a ton of like huge Ariana Grande fans. I'm an Ari fan for sure. Like how can you not like her music? Like she's so talented. I will say like my vibe in music is more like vibey. My last Star Studded September interview, by the way, that I'm gonna be talking about with Ulta. So by the way, thank you Ulta for that opportunity. The Ulta team was like so nice and very catering to me and very kind to me and like guided me through it really nicely. So shout out to Ulta for that. It was a great opportunity and I really do appreciate it, whether I was experienced enough or not. Ariana Grande, that was my next one. She was there for her fragrance. So that morning I got dressed, I got ready for it. And my job also was to take a picture of the celebrity and I had to post it on my Instagram. I'm like, I don't have a problem with that, but that was part of the deal. But anyway, so I remember me and Ty, we got up that morning, I left my apartment and we headed to the Ulta and then we got there and I'm like, they have nothing set up. There's no one here. The store's empty. And they were like, where are you at? And I gave them the address. They're like, oh, we told you to go to the wrong Ulta. So I remember being like, are you kidding me? They were like, you have to get to this Ulta in this many minutes because Ari's leaving, da, 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 da. So I was like, oh my God, that's all the way across LA. So we shot over there. I made it just in time. I went into the Ulta. Ari was just wrapping up with her last person interviewing her. And while she was wrapping up, I was talking to her makeup artist, Daniel, because I know him personally. He's so nice, super sweet. I don't know if she uses him anymore, but he's a doll. And I was like, good, a friendly face. So I was like softly chatting with him in the background while she was finishing up. And then it came time for me. I was like, hey, Ari, I'm a YouTuber. I'm here with Ulta to ask you just a couple beauty questions. And I remember she looked at me and goes, how do you know Daniel? And I was like, he's just in the industry, makeup artist, and I do makeup on YouTube. So, you know, we know each other through that. And then she was like, okay. And then, you know, I asked her just a couple questions and I'm gonna be honest and say like while I was in the middle of asking her questions, she was looking at her team and like talking to them like, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not even in the room. So I'm not gonna lie, like I felt like I was her last interview. I'm sure this is the last thing, an A-list celebrity that's as big as Ariana Grande. I'm sure she had no interest in doing this with me. So she was nice, but very like, I'm sorry, but you just know when people just don't want to be there. And that's the vibe I got. So I was like, okay, cool. So then I pull up my phone. I'm like, can we get a quick picture? Because I had to post a picture with a celebrity. And she knew that. So she was like totally cool with it. She was like, yeah. And so I pull up Snapchat. Because back then Snapchat was like the coolest thing ever. And I pull it up and I was like, do you want to pick the filter? And she was like, yeah. She picked the deer filter, which covers our whole face and you can't even tell who we are. And I had to post that on my Instagram. Already the vibe was a little bit off. So, and I'm not blaming these celebrities for having an off vibe. Like people are allowed to have a bad day and that's the stuff I freaking hate on TikTok. It's like rating the celebrities that came in my restaurant and they like dog people. And I'm like, yeah, but what if they just had a bad day? Like that's not really fair. So I'm trying to be fair here and read the room and realize the situation and like kind of judge it off that and my experience off that. But my one picture with Ari, I look like a deer. And I also told her, I remember telling her how much I loved her fashion now because you know she had switched over from, do you remember when Ari was like very like pink girly frilly to then oversized sweatshirts, heels, baggy jeans, like very hoop earrings, very cutesy. She kind of switched over to that and I told her how much I loved her style. And I remember her saying something along the lines of like, it's been like this or something. And I was like, oh, I feel like when you're interviewing celebrities, the stuff they have to put up with is ridiculous. So in their minds, anything you say or do can be annoying to them, like anything you say, because people say stupid stuff to them that's unnecessary all day. So I understand why she was probably like, girl, it's been like this. I still love her. I still love her music. I think she's great. And let's move on to our next celebrity. Okay, the next celebrity I absolutely have to talk about because, oh my gosh, this celebrity, my dreams came true. I got to meet, not only did I get to meet Mariah Carey, but I basically got to spend the night in a hotel room with her in New York City in one of the most nicest hotels in the city. Mariah Carey's my #1. Growing up, she was my #1 female artist. I listened to her CD until the thing wouldn't play anymore. She was the most beautiful woman on earth to me, and I wanted to be her. Like, I was obsessed with Miss Mariah Carey. I loved everything about her, and I still do. Okay, so whenever Mac presented the opportunity to fly to New York, super nice hotel, and spend the night, hang out all night with Mariah Carey. I about died, but at the same time I was super nervous to do it because you know the saying, never meet your heroes. I was scared like this was gonna ruin her for me. So I was like, do I not go and just enjoy her for the rest of my life, or do I go and risk it all? I went, of course. Okay, so meeting Mariah Carey. First of all, let me just say this about her. She is a diva in all the right ways. She was 3 hours late, so we all sat in a room for 3 hours straight, just talking, twiddling our thumbs, being so nervous, waiting on her to come in. I think it was over 3 hours later, she like eventually showed up. She was one of the most glamorous people I've ever seen in my life. She had her manager, just this massive team with her hair, makeup, everything. And she walks in and she's so chill. Like if chill was a person, it's Mariah. She is so chill. And she calls everybody her darlings. I am one of her lambs. I love her. Yeah, she came in. I remember she was just so chill. I remember the hotel. She likes a whiskey with honey in it. I want to say it was Jack Daniel's honey, but don't quote me on that because I could be wrong. It was something with honey, and the hotel person was like, oh, we don't have that. And she was just like, they were like, we'll go get it. I was like, yes, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. A diva in all the right ways. Like a diva being super late. I remember she was sitting on the couch talking to us, and her hair person was just like, fixing her hair just so she could talk to us. The nicest person ever, okay? She had drinks with us. We talked about life together. She talked about all her ex-relationships with us. She told us tea on Nick Cannon that I would never spill because that's nobody's business. She talked about her jewelry. I mean, just an open book. You could ask her anything. I remember some people were picking up her hands and playing with her rings. She didn't care. You could pull 10 selfies with her, camera in her face, snap her. She didn't care. She was there to spend that night with us and to really make it like a sleepover, like a real moment. And she was the realest, coolest person that I probably have ever met. Like, because I didn't just like hug her and take a picture with her. I got to actually spend time with her and kind of get to know her. And I fell 10 times more in love with her. So in this case, like she's probably one of the best celebrities I've ever met. She's a diva. She lives up to her Mariah Carey name in the best possible way. I remember leaving that hotel room that night feeling like I was truly on cloud nine, like feeling like I had won the lottery because of the way she made us feel being around her. Her energy is so good, and she has a calmness about her. She has a realness about her, and she was so awesome. I mean, just so awesome. Like I felt like I could ask her anything. I remember somebody asked her, you know, what it felt like to be famous, and she was like, darling, I've been famous for basically more than half of her life. She said something like, so she's like, I don't really know what it feels like not to be famous. Like, I don't know what normal feels like anymore. All her answers were like so real, so insightful, so deep, and she's lived a lot and she's been through a lot, and she was like so happy to talk to all of us girls about that. So most inspiring, most awesome moment, like top 10 moments in my life was spending a night in a hotel with Mariah Carey, for sure. All right, let's move on. Okay, so a lot of these other ones that I met were more brief encounters. What I've talked to you about so far were like my longer encounters with people. Where like actually, oh my God, I have one more long one. You guys are gonna love this if you remember it. Katy Perry. Guys, so I don't know if you remember, but CoverGirl and like YouTube was doing this thing where Katy Perry was going live with her life for like 3 days straight or something, and like showing her living for like 3 days straight, cameras on. They asked me, CoverGirl was like, would you like to come in on one of the segments and live and do her makeup? And I was like, I'm not a celebrity makeup artist. Like celebrities have specific artists because they like specific ways of doing their makeup and they tend to stick to their artist. So I felt a little uncomfortable doing her makeup since I had never done it before and I didn't know what she preferred. But I said, okay, like how am I gonna pass this out? Teenage dream. I literally, she's another one where I was in like probably my early 20s and I just like honestly worshipped her. Like she was my #1 for a really long time. So I went there and I waited in my trailer, and then they pulled me and they were like, okay, she's ready. They brought me into this room and they were like, here's the makeup you're gonna be using on her. Did you bring your brushes? And I was like, I brought everything. They're all cleaned. I'll lay them out. And then I was looking around and I'm like, there were not that many products. There was no bronzer, no highlighter, like a lot of big things were missing. And I was like, okay. And I asked, I was like, where's the bronzer? And her makeup artist was on set to help out whoever was doing her makeup. Like I said, they like their makeup in a specific way, which is fine. And he was like, oh, you'll just use blush, no bronzer. For bronzer. I think he said use the blush for the bronzer. And I was just like, so I'm there waiting, and she just walks through really fast, and she's like, oh, hey, I'm Katie, like super nonchalant, and then she's like, I'll be right back. And I felt her vibe was like really cool, really chill, just like, hey girl, what's up? Let's do this thing, like very that. And so I was like, okay, I can do this. Like I felt good. I was like, all right, she's chill, I can do this. Then she sits down in the chair and we're having small talk. I'm really nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Like, hello, I'm doing my idol's makeup with no like preparation at all. I'm like, oh my God. And so I'm doing her makeup, and I pulled out my Artiste brush and I started putting on her foundation, because at the time it's my favorite way to do my foundation. And her artist did tell me ahead of time, she likes for you to push the makeup in, like hit her with the thing, like really push it in aggressively, her foundation. That's what she likes. So I did that. I was nervous. I didn't want to beat her in the face with the brush. And she was like, no, push it like more. And I was like, okay. Super chill about that. And I remember talking to her about the Artiste brush. She was like, what is that? I love it because you can really get in there. And I was like, yeah, telling her all about it. And then honestly, I don't feel like I did a good job. I feel like I was too nervous, and I felt like honestly her vibe changed a bit. Mind you, all of this is live for YouTube to watch, and my DMs exploded when I left there with people who felt bad for me because they were like, girl, she did not like you, or like she was not there for you to do her makeup. Everybody in my comments were saying how bad they felt for me because it just kind of took a turn. I could just tell it went from her like being fake happy to being like, I don't want to do this anymore. And probably because I didn't know what I was doing, because I'm not her artist and I shouldn't have been doing her makeup. Because I never watched the live sesh, by the way. I never went back and watched the live sesh. I tend to not do that because I don't like to watch myself that much. And I already have to do it enough on YouTube, and it's so cringe and I hated it. Like whenever I left the set, I just was like, I cannot believe that happened to me on live. Like, what a failure. Like I felt like crap. And then, so everybody, my comments are like blowing up with people being like, but I will say this, after we got done doing her makeup, we did take a couple pictures, and she was like super, 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 super nice about taking pictures with me and Ty. She was like, get in here, come on, take pictures. So there's a really niceness about her. I think she was going through something, because after I did her makeup, in the next segment, she was like talking to someone or interviewing by someone, and she like breaks down and bawls the entire time and cries her eyes out and cried off all the makeup that I did. But I do want to thank CoverGirl for asking me to do it. I hated myself, I'm not gonna lie. I really hated myself after that one. It sucked. I do rate her. You know, she was honestly like overall, like I could feel like her going through something, and human to human, I would never ever rate someone bad, even if they were rude to me. Like if you're going through it, you're going through it. And I can't imagine the pressure that's put on A-list celebrities. So I still give her a 10 out of 10. Love you, girl. All right, let's move on to some more fun ones. Let's lighten up the conversation because things are getting a little bit heavy. So one of my favorite celebrities on earth is Seth Rogen. And I love, him and Evan Goldberg have written some of my favorite movies of all time. Pineapple Express is up there in my top 5 favorite movies, and he's just done so much. I vibe hard with him. Like, I love Seth Rogen. Everybody that knows me, they know I love Seth Rogen. I make that very clear. I talk about it a lot. My husband loves Seth Rogen. I'm a huge fan. I went to his carnival a couple summers ago before quarantine that he threw here in LA, like everything. But I remember Sausage Party premiere. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was Kristen Dominique that invited me as her +1. She knew my obsession with Seth Rogen. And so I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'll go. So, you know, we're like on the carpet standing there, and like there were a lot of big celebrities on that carpet. Selma Hayek, Paul Rudd, which by the way, he did not want to speak to anyone, which we can't judge him off that. Like, dude was there to take the pictures on the carpet and get the hell out of there, and that's what he did. But when I tell you, when Seth Rogen arrived, I was like, shh, if he acts like Paul Rudd, I'm gonna cry. Like, I've gotta meet this guy. I'm obsessed. And he gets out of the car. He goes down the carpet and takes a picture and says hello to every human on that carpet. Fans screaming, he goes to him. He talks to every single person, including me, and took a picture with me. And then the dude gets off the carpet. He goes out of the barricades. He goes across the street where fans are screaming and goes and takes pictures with them. Like, he was there to support the people supporting his movie. He was so excited. Like, honestly, so freaking nice. There was no other celebrity there that went across the street to take pictures. I actually think it was probably dangerous to do, and he did it. He didn't care. And I got a picture with him, and it was like one of the greatest moments ever. And he follows me on Instagram, so I'm so cool. One day, I want to do a YouTube video with him, or maybe even like, I don't know, him do my voiceover, something. I'm like manifesting that to happen one day, or like something happen in my lifetime where I get to hang out with him. So Seth, if you're watching. But yeah, I got to meet him, and he like blew me away with how kind he was to everyone around him. And then like when I saw him go across the street, which is kind of a no-no, I was like, wow, this guy like cares about the people that support him. So I would say my second favorite movie from Seth Rogen is A Zurban Report. It's so funny. And then my third is probably Superbad. I have a lot. Okay, now the next few is more of just like picture taking, kind of like a quick moment. Nicki Minaj, met her. We were there to meet her in New York. I think it was like Fashion Week maybe. But she collabed with Mac, and we were there to take a picture with her. She was super nice. It was a brief encounter, but I remember like in the picture, Manny videoed me doing it. And like my hair flew in her eye, and she was like this. So of course all the comments were like, you put your hair in her eye. I'm like, she doesn't care, okay? She didn't care. She was like so cool, so chill. I was standing with Manny in our spot to meet her, and she looked at Manny and waved. She remembered him, just like super chill, really nice. I know she's a baddie online, but in person, like, dude, she's so nice. 10 out of 10. Lady Gaga. I met her at her House Labs big event in LA, and again, it was just a brief encounter. I said hello. I think certain YouTubers spent more time with her, but honestly, it was my fault. Like, you either spent time with her. Here's the problem. Me and Manny got there to the event late, and right when you got to the event, you're supposed to go to meet her. And of course, when we walked in, I was like, come on, Manny, come on. And then everyone, like, we had to talk to everyone for like hours, like literally like 2 hours before we could get to the back room, because you never want to like go to a big event and just walk through the crowd and not say hello to everyone. So it took us like 2 hours to get back there. And by the time we met her, I think I was like one of the last people to meet her. Mama was wiped out. Mama was tired. She was tired. I could tell. And I just looked at her and I said, thank you so much for staying here this long and meeting all of us. Like, it means a lot. And she was like so freaking nice. Lady Gaga's like the nicest. She really is. 10 out of 10. 50 Cent, I met him whenever I went on the Ryan and Kelly show, where me and Kendi Johnson like went on that show and competed. It was hilarious. Also, Ryan and Kelly were great. 10 out of 10 for both of them. But 50 Cent was going on before us. So I guess he knew a couple of us YouTubers were like, or they told him a couple YouTubers are in this room, you should meet them. And boy, he was so excited. He like came in with the biggest smile I've ever seen, joking with us, hanging out with us. So chill, really cool, taking all the pictures we wanted. Just happy to be there. You could tell like the vibe was at 100. Like, he was amazing. 50 Cent was really great to meet. I have not a bad word to say. So I know there's a celebrity I've met that I'm not thinking of. Ty, I know we're gonna think of someone. Victoria Beckham. I met her so briefly at her event though, so. I met Bella Hadid. No, not her. Who? The one that you did the boxing class with. Oh, I met Adriana Lima. Maybe I'll tell that story. I met Adriana Lima. So Maybelline was like, you guys are gonna do Adriana Lima's workout. And at this time in my life, I wasn't working out much. I was out of shape. It was like Fashion Week, and I had a bunch of stuff lined up. And on this morning, it was working out with Adriana Lima, and a couple more of us girls were going. So I was like, okay, great. Well, the workout was like at 11, and I didn't eat breakfast, and I was starving. I think it was like at lunch, I think, something like that. And me and Ty ran across the street to get Chipotle. So I remember I was eating Chipotle running to the workout because I was so hungry. And when I got there, I'm like, okay, I'm out of shape. And I went ahead and I was like telling the Maybelline people, I was like, I'm so out of shape, I'm gonna die. They were like, yeah, you probably are. could do it at your own pace, totally. Like, you didn't have to go as hard as her, but she wanted to show us like what she does. Well, ma'am. She's amazing, by the way. Super, 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 super nice. Like, very chill, very smiley, very sweet. Has a lot of stamina. But I remember about halfway through the workout, I had to stop because I was about to throw that Chipotle up everywhere. We worked out so hard. And on top of it, I was out of shape, so it was even harder on me. And I remember stopping and just hugging the trash can and being like, I'm supposed to be working out with Adriana Limo, but while everyone's working out, I'm trying to throw up Chipotle because my stupid self went and ate before the workout. That one's on me, but she was great. But yeah, that's it. That's all I'm gonna talk about today, I think. I did meet Logic. But anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed me spilling the tea. Not all my experiences were 100, but you know, I think myself and everyone who meets someone should always be mindful and allow someone. Now, if the behavior is like erratic and like terrible, I get it. But if it's like they felt snooty, so I hate them, -0, it's like, come on. Give people the benefit of the doubt, stay positive. I mean, I haven't had the best encounters and I'm not dogging people, so I just don't think people should do that, but whatever, it is what it is. But I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and be sure and give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.